material out. After Dane makes a presentation.
On my lips.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Dane.
My boyfriend Shoren over there. So, I had a public speaking assignment, and I had to speak in front of at least 6 adults. So, I got that here. And nothing said I couldn't do a Bible study, so I decided to do a Bible study. So, today we're going to talk about religious tolerance. If I can get the music stand to stay straight. There we go. So, we look at Mark 12:31. God says that the second greatest commandment is this: love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. That's right after Mark 12:30, where he's talking about love the Lord your God with all your strength, with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, all that good stuff. So God tells us to love our neighbors as ourselves. Most of the time we do a pretty decent job of that. You know, I try to love Alex as much as I can. Glad you're here tonight, Alex. Anyway, but to show love to someone, we can't judge them, right? If I walk up to William over there, and I'm like, you know what, William, you think you're the greatest baritone player ever, and I just think you're terrible. That's just not a good way to talk to William. Nobody's going to like me. William's particularly not going to like that. No, let's say that I'm his band director. Figured that would work here. But I'm going to try and walk through with William. If he thinks he's great, and he's really not so great, I'm going to try to walk through his playing with him and try to make him great. We're going to work with William until he can play well, right? You're welcome, William. So, anyway, now a lot of times we don't always do that in our own Christian lives. Like if I have a coworker, for some of you, for my case, someone that I go to school with or something, a lot of times if they're not a Christian, I won't actively say that they're worse than me or something, but a lot of people tend to kind of imply that they're worse than you, right? I'll walk up and I'll be like, so are you a Christian? And you say no. Well, and then if you just stop talking to them, that's not really giving them the right impression that you want. You want to walk with them. God walks with us. It's not our case to judge them. Let me flip over in my Bible here. In Matthew 7:1, God says, do not judge, or you too will be judged. For the same way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. So that tells us pretty clearly that God is the judge. We can't go through and judge people for what they do. That's what God's there for. Sorry if it looks kind of weird when I look at the camera, but I'm supposed to do that with my camera. So, when we say that, lost my spot. Okay. When we're judging people like that, we're not supposed to judge. That, moving on and right into the next part of the passage, Matthew 7:3, why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? That's the parable of the plank and the sawdust. That's just like, I'll use William as an example again because I've already used him once. If I walk up to William and I'm just like, you know, you're terrible, William. Well, that might be true, but at the same time, I might be 100 times worse than he is. So who am I to say that? God's the only one. We're all sinners, and God says that the wage for sin is death, and he's the only way to get through that. So I think that a lot of times we make the wrong approach with people we know who aren't the same religion as us. If we say that they're a Muslim, I'll just use that as an example, and we imply that I'm a Christian, so I'm right, you're wrong. That's right, but that's not the right way to go about it. The right way to go about it is like God walks with us. God doesn't just tell us all the information, and we go out one day and know everything, and we're ready to go on with our lives, free of sin, great Christians. No, it's a day-by-day process. We're growing, we're pursuing, all of that good stuff. And without the application of what we read every day, we're never going to get anywhere. So my final point, I think that we need to be tolerant in the moment of people that aren't of our own religion, and over time walk through with them as Christ does with us. That's all.
Rich man. Well, I'm going to let you hit unrecord.